My name is Nick Purdue. I own MR1 Wheel Refinishing, and I essentially take wheels that look like garbage and turn them into diamonds. The name is an old nickname I had when I used to be on Volkswagen forums, when forums were relevant. And the MR stood for Mad Rabbit. So I used to be a Mark 1 guy. I had a bunch of Mark 1 rabbits. They were my passion. I would leave them in the driveway and build wheels around my cars, and then they just would never leave. But the Mad Rabbit came from, on the forums, I was that guy that everybody hated. I had no filter. If you asked an opinion or said, what do you think about this mod, you're going to get the truth. So the Mad Rabbit thing has been with me for multiple states since I've moved here, and many friends. It's my nickname, so I kind of used it. So I started rebuilding wheels probably 10, 12 years ago. Really, if I go back farther than that, the wheel rebuilding started when I was very young with my father rebuilding old hot rods. And the hot rods, like everybody's project nowadays, would never leave the garage. But he always had piles of wheels to choose from. He always had parts everywhere, like all of us do. And he used to have this saying where he said, it's like putting mag wheels on a dump truck. And that saying has stuck with me for 20 years. And ever since he said that, every time I look at a dump truck and I try and picture it with like 22-inch BC forged wheels, I was like, I would drive that. That'd be pretty freaking awesome. So it's just one of those things. That's essentially the seed was planted probably 20 years ago. And ever since then, I've been a car guy, but not really a car guy. And I realize that now, like, I'm not a car guy, I'm just a wheel guy. Because my projects never leave the driveway. But they always have the coolest wheels. That's pretty much where it came from. My experience with machining came from trial and error. I had somebody bring me a wheel and say, can you get parts for this? And I said, no. And then I start testing fitting that wheel on multiple lips and barrels that I have around, and I found something that was close, and then I opened up the bore. I opened up the bore with a grinder, really, is how I started 10 years ago. Just opening up the bore and seeing if I can get it to fit, and then elongating bolt holes, like real cob job stuff. And in the last 5 years, I've moved now into full machining. And one of my good friends, Adam Gerard, who owns AG Designs, shout out to AG Designs, he is the guy who kind of got me looking into doing things more precise, and that's where it went. And I bought a milling machine, and I bought a rotary table and all the parts required, not knowing what their names really are, but kind of putting pieces and parts together until I could take something that was not round and make it round, or I could take something that was round and open the bore, and it's just grown from that now. From converting basic single-piece wheels to three-piece wheels, which I don't do a lot for customers because most wheels that were built back in the day are not forged. They're all cast, and it's not really a safe thing to do, but they're great showpieces. They look awesome, so that has allowed me to get pretty decent at manual machining, really. difficult things to learn, honestly think the learning curve on powder coating is pretty high. Anybody can take apart and go on Eastwood or go on YouTube and start searching forums on how to powder coat, and you can take a piece of metal and you can clean it up and put, hook it up to a ground wire, and you can get powder to stick to it. But once I started branching into real commercial equipment, I have a Gemma powder coat sprayer now. Like, once you start branching into real commercial equipment, the learning curve takes another jump when it comes to powder coating and prep. Mostly, most of it, like anything, when paint work, really anything when it comes to building comes down to prep work, and powder coat is the same way, but very meticulous. So my favorite part of the process is when a customer brings me a set of wheels and says that I have the chef's choice. They're allowing me to choose colors and finishes based on their vehicle, is my favorite thing to do. That my passion comes out when somebody says, you take this set of wheels and you make it look good on my car. It allows me creativity as far as, even when it comes to sizing, I can upsize, downsize, I can do brush work, polish work, powder coat. It gives me all the options to combine colors for a set of wheels that would look good on somebody's car. That is easily my favorite part. Outside of that, on a regular refinish job, my favorite part is probably the assembly part, which most people probably don't agree with. Tightening anywhere from 134 to 160 bolts. I enjoy that. I think it's fantastic. It shuts my brain off for a few minutes and lets me just do things that are natural. So, how many sets of wheels have I done? I couldn't even come up with a guess. In the last 2 years, I've probably done 75 sets. This year alone, I've got 25 appointments, but I've got 25 appointments booked through April, and I've got 10 to 15 on the back burner right now. So it's hard to say. If I counted all my 10 plus years of wheel rebuilding, I probably have 400 sets, maybe 500 sets of wheels in that range, if I guessed. My favorite set of wheels is always going to be the RS. When I started this game, I had a Volkswagen Corrado with a VR6 turbo, and the car, it's the first project I ever built from beginning to end. Running, driving, I had help from great friends to get this thing running, but this car was designed around a set of wheels. I had purchased a set of BBS Strosecs from a guy in Ukraine, and I rebuilt them to much wider. It was the first time I'd ever seen 2-inch slant lips like RS's. That was my thing. These Strosec faces took RS parts. So it's like, once I got into rebuilding BBS 3-piece wheels, the RS just took over. Everything that BBS does is just infinitely better than everybody else. It is. I've seen too many wheels to know. Everything they do is right. So the BBS RS will probably be my favorite wheel forever. And I know it gets played out over time. You go to car shows, everybody's got these 16-inch RS faces upsized to 29s, and it just looks ridiculous, and it looks like you could eat cereal out of it. But if I can eliminate everything outside of the face, that webbed design is iconic and will always be probably my favorite wheel face. I have some rare ones. That top the RS, but in general, the RS will always be my favorite wheel. What's next for me? It's hard to say. So for MR1 wheels, I think the next step, which I've taken within the last week, is jumping into more space. I'm confined right now by my outside walls, and I have 500 square feet to work in. And when you're building 25 sets of wheels in a 6-month period or 5-month period, it gets a little tight in here. And when you start working and things get unorganized, you have to stop what you're doing, instantly clean and organize before you can even start moving on with the project. My next step is more space, which I've taken. Move-in day is coming up in a week. It's going to be very interesting. If I look 5 years past that, I have no idea. It's very tough to say. I have a vision of what I would like it to be, and to get there is going to take some work. If I work my way backwards from the 5-year goal, I can't say that it's not attainable. But right now, everything's kind of overwhelming. Moving from here to a bigger shop, getting myself into some space where I can actually be way more creative, have more equipment, more machines. It's hard to say. Ideally, I would like to branch this into something that I do all the time, full-time job. As some of you may know, this is not even my full-time job. I'm doing this on top of another job, another career, which I love. So it's hard to say. If I didn't like my day job, then my full passion would be in running this thing as far as I can take it. Right now, I'm just trying to build what I have. I'd like to make this into something that has the potential to be full-time, following my passion, doing what I like every day. I don't even know where to start. As far as shout-outs, like anybody, I have handfuls of returning customers, which I think speaks every time I have a customer come back to me and say, hey, I'm looking for a new set of wheels, or I want to take the wheels refinished 2 years ago and I want to add a new finish to them. Every time that happens, it's validation that what I'm doing is working. So shout outs would go to everybody that's ever brought me parts, and everybody who continues to bring me parts. Everybody who gives me the chance to follow my passion. It's one of those things. There's not many people out there that can do what they love on a daily basis. Not only do I have a regular career day job that I love, but I get to come into a shop and run my own business, my own way, with my own ideas, and it's flourishing. So there's no specific shout outs except everybody that follows me on Instagram, hashtag MR1 Wheel Refinishing. And that's it. It's really like I've been building this for years. I have my friend Smokin' Benny in upstate New York, who's really helped me, and my friend Yeti, both have helped me with the machining aspect of this whole thing, bouncing questions back and forth and figuring out what parts and tools I need to make things round and straight. And it's been an adventure so far. So I don't have any specific shout outs, just everybody for keeping me in this envelope doing what I like to do. Anything? Not really. I just like to say thank you and keep bringing me your turds so I can polish them. That's about the end of it. I feel like I'm on To Catch a Predator. What are you doing with that beer in the condom, sir? Dark web. I got a dark web alert on my phone the other day. I'll turn it backwards too. Blue Moon? Come on! Start with the question that you've asked me, so it doesn't seem like I came out and just answered questions. Yeah, I don't know if I can do it, but I get it.
April 3rd.
Caught red-handed. Yeah. And I got some dark web message about the Tacoma forums I used to be on in like 2001.
Really?
Yeah. You like that? I'm actually going to shut my phone off.